ito na yun. Magnet.
Yeah, we're driving up.
Bumili siya na parang normal. Tapos naka-switch off ang engine namin.
When I was telling about the history of Albert fortress, I mentioned the 7th century, the 10th century, I mentioned the invasions of Turks, Seljuks, Mongols, and the monastery we're going to visit today also dates back to this very period of time. And in this respect, I want to tell you about this very period of time in the history of Armenia to understand it better, to understand the history of the fortress and the monastery better. And the 7th century stands out for the change of the political situation in Armenia. It's the beginning of Arab invasions. Maybe this is the reason why fortress was founded in that very time, to protect the borders of Armenia from the Arabs. Well, by 640, Arabs had already invaded Persia. I'm sorry, they invaded Mesopotamia, Syria, Egypt, Palestine, and already in 640 they crossed the border of Eastern Armenia, which was then part of Sassanid Persia. They destroyed the medieval capital of Din and returned with a considerable number of prisoners and plunder. Well, they returned a couple of years later, but at that time already the Armenian army, which was led by the governor of Armenia, Theodoros Rushtuni, managed to show resistance to them, and Arabs returned. But already in 652, Theodoros Rushtuni, taking into consideration the increasing power of the Arab army, signed a peace treaty with Arabs, thanks to which, during the first decades of their domination in Armenia, Armenia maintained relative independence. But already in the 8th century, when Arabs had finished their invasions and had consolidated their power in the invaded territories, their power acquired more cruel character. Taxes were doubled, religious intolerance augmented, there was a ban for the construction of new churches and monasteries, and this is the reason why one can never find any church or monastery in Armenia dating back to the 8th century. because of the ban of the Arabs for the construction of them. Well, and this led to a number of protests of Armenian population against Arabs. And the liberation movement was led by two princely families. Those were the Mamikonians and the Bagratunis. So, and later led quite flexible policy and enjoyed the trust of the Arabs. And this very princely family, already in the 10th century, would liberate Armenia from the Arabs. The most negative consequences of their domination were that the ethnographic structure of the country changed drastically. Arabs would build their houses in Armenian villages, towns and settlements, and Armenians were not able to tolerate their presence and had to move to nearby Christian country, Georgian Byzantine Empire. Already in the middle of the 9th century, the Arab power started to decrease, which was quite beneficial both for the Byzantines and the Bagratuni. And already in 855, Ashot Bagratuni seized the power, and he was recognized as the princess, and he was given the right to collect taxes. Of course, Arabs in a couple of years tried to seize the power back, supported by some rival princely families, but they failed due to Ashot's troops, who fought against them not far from the capital Tbilisi. Well, and a couple of years later, already in 885, Arab Caliph recognized Ashot as the king of Armenia. Consequently, Ashot became the founder of a new royal dynasty, the dynasty of the Bagratuni, and the founder of one of the last kingdoms in the history of Armenia, the last independent kingdoms in the history of Armenia, the kingdom of the Bagratuni, which in the sources of those days is mentioned as Ani Kingdom, and the capital of this kingdom was a beautiful medieval city, Ani, the ruins of which are now situated at the border with Turkey. Unfortunately, peace didn't last long, and Arabs returned in the beginning of the 10th century, and the last and the decisive battle took place in 921 at the shore of Lake Sevan, that the Arab army, and after that he started victoriously liberating Armenia from Arabs. Nevertheless, the history